Imagine spending $14 billion to build your dream. A paradise of 300 islands, shaped like the entire world, home to billionaires, celebrities, and royalty. Each island a world of its own. But today, most of those islands are eerily silent, abandoned, forgotten. No lavish beach resorts, no luxury mansions, just wind, sand, and water slowly reclaiming what was once hailed as mankind's most ambitious real estate project. So what really happened here? Why did Dubai spend billions to build man-made islands, only to leave them mostly empty? This is a story of vision, innovation, ambition, and how nature, finance, and reality collided with a dream built on sand. Dubai, just a few decades ago, was nothing more than a trading port with little international recognition. Its skyline was flat, its economy driven almost entirely by oil. But Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum had a bigger plan: to turn Dubai into a global hub of tourism, luxury, and business. He knew oil wouldn't last forever. So brick by brick, dream by dream, Dubai transformed. From the iconic Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, to the Burj Al Arab, the first 7-star hotel ever built, Dubai began carving out a name for itself. By the late 1990s, Dubai's coastline was almost entirely developed. There simply wasn't enough beachfront left to meet the soaring demand from foreign investors and tourists. So, Sheikh Mohammed asked a bold question. Why not build more coastline? Why not take the sea and turn it into land? The idea seemed outrageous, until it wasn't. In 2001, construction began on the Palm Jumeirah, the first of 3 artificial palm-shaped islands. And it wasn't just a gimmick. The Palm Jumeirah added 56 kilometers of new coastline to Dubai, an 80% increase. Soon after, plans were announced for even more daring projects: Palm Jebel Ali, Palm Deira, the world, and later, even the universe, islands shaped like the sun, moon, planets, and galaxies. Another project, Dubai Waterfront, was planned to be the largest man-made development in history, shaped like the star and crescent symbol of Islam. Within a few short years, Dubai wasn't just expanding, it was rewriting geography. But how do you build islands in the middle of the sea? The process is called land reclamation. Engineers dredge sand from the seabed and spray it into specific shapes. Then, massive boulders and breakwaters are added to protect the new land from erosion and waves. Palm Jumeirah alone used 84 million cubic meters of sand and 7 million tons of rock. To position every curve precisely, engineers used advanced GPS systems, divers, and constant real-time measurements. But it wasn't easy. Desert sand, despite Dubai's location, couldn't be used. It was too fine and unstable. So the sand had to be dredged from specific underwater areas with just the right properties. Each boulder for the breakwaters weighed up to 6 tons, forming multi-layered barriers against the sea. Still, the sand had to be compacted to withstand buildings. Engineers used a process called vibrocompaction, drilling probes deep into the island and using high-pressure water and air to make the sand settle and solidify. Then came roads, bridges, electricity, water supply, drainage systems, and finally buildings. By 2006, Palm Jumeirah was ready. Luxury resorts, private homes, hotels, all rose from what was once the seabed. It was hailed as a miracle of modern engineering. Dubai was on a roll. Even before Palm Jumeirah was completed, new projects were underway. And then came the world, perhaps the most ambitious of them all. A cluster of 300 islands, shaped to resemble the map of Earth. Each island had a name, and each one was up for sale, starting from $15 million and going up to $50 million. The project promised to be a playground for the world's elite, a private island for the ultra-rich. Actors, royalty, sports icons, everyone wanted a piece of paradise. By 2008, over 60% of the islands were already sold. But then, everything changed. In 2008, the global financial crisis struck. Stock markets crashed, real estate plummeted, investors pulled out, projects halted. Even though Dubai threw a $20 million party to launch the Atlantis Hotel that year, the rest of the world was in panic mode. The world islands, like many other mega projects, became a casualty. Developers vanished, buyers backed out, construction stopped. But that wasn't the only problem. Soon after, erosion was discovered. Many islands were found shrinking. Some were even sinking. The sand, carefully piled up to create the islands, was slowly being pulled away by the sea. News reports and satellite images showed worrying signs. Investor confidence collapsed. There were also design flaws. The promised map of the world didn't really look like the Earth. The islands were vague in shape, disconnected. Some barely resembled countries. What was meant to be a globe became a scattered mass of expensive, isolated sandbanks. Then came environmental backlash. Marine ecosystems were destroyed, oyster beds buried, coral reefs damaged. Palm Jumeirah's breakwater disrupted natural tidal flow, making the water stagnant. Residents began complaining. Scientists warned of increased erosion on Dubai's natural coastline due to altered wave patterns caused by dredging. Even the Persian Gulf itself was changing. Removing that much sand from its seabed disturbed underwater pressure and redirected currents, causing erosion not just on the artificial islands but on the natural shores of Dubai too. More than 20 years after this dream began, most of the world islands remain untouched. Of 300 islands, only 9 have seen development. Lebanon Island hosts a beach club. The Heart of Europe project, led by an Austrian developer, promises floating villas, snowfall in the desert, and luxury hotels styled after Venice and Monaco. But the rest? Still vacant. Not because Dubai lacks ambition, but because investors lack faith. And trust, once lost, is hard to rebuild. Even Palm Jebel Ali was paused. Investors were refunded. Palm Jumeirah was rebranded and drastically scaled down. Projects like the Universe and Dubai Waterfront discontinued. Dubai learned the hard way. The sea doesn't surrender easily. Dubai's man-made islands represent something much bigger than real estate. They are monuments to human ambition, proof that we can build paradise from sand. But they are also a reminder that nature, economy, and engineering must move in harmony. So, will these islands ever be completed? Will they flourish or vanish beneath the waves? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, Dubai never stops dreaming. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell us in the comments, would you ever live on a man-made island in the middle of the sea?